Well, hello, everybody. And anybody who thinks that I don't work my tail off every day, you got another thing coming. I got that section around the corner built, and I got it lined. And if you think that's all I did, look at this. I cleaned up everything inside of here. I raked it all down. And if you think that's where I stopped, you're not thinking properly. I got the first 6 inches of soil in the bottom of the new planter. And you see all the cans. Okay. Now, remember I mentioned before, when you plant trees or set yourself up a garden, it's always a good idea to put some tin cans in there. Now, I said tin cans, not aluminum cans. And the way you can tell is a magnet sticks to it. Now, before you just take a can of corn off the shelf and dump it in your pan and then say, well, I'm going to go bury this in the garden, put them in a fire pit and burn them. A lot of the cans today come with a plastic lining on the insides to keep the can from rusting from the liquids that are inside. And if they don't do that, they use galvanized metal to make the can, so the inside of the can is full of zinc. And zinc's not very harmful to you, but that's not the way you take it, all right? So avoid that. Now, notice, after they're burnt, they rust. They've been sitting around a while, but notice that all the cans are set in here standing up. I didn't just toss them in, lay them down, or anything like that. Every one of them is standing up, and I staggered them off about 2 to 3 feet apart on each one. Now, why do I do that? Well, simply, I'm going to be filling this back in with more soil, and those cans now are going to fill with soil. If they were laying down or upside down, you'd have a hollow spot there. And if you have a hollow spot, when the can finally does rot, you're going to have a sinkhole in your garden. That's one bad thing. The other thing is, the good thing is, that if you set them like this, then when you water your garden, as the water seeps down through the soil, it'll fill those cans up until they rot. Those cans will actually hold water in the bottom of your raised bed for quite a period of time, because it can't evaporate up through the soil as fast as it would on top of the soil. So having them in like that is a plus for holding onto water also. All right. So remember that if you're going to be doing raised beds, plant your cans. And no, you won't get Americans to grow out of them. You'll just get cans. They will rust and corrode out after a while. Now the covers, if I find covers laying around like that one, I just toss those in there. They're not going to take up any space. They're not going to leave a hollow spot, and they'll rust out in no time. So I just throw the covers in whenever I find them. There's another one over here. But yep, that's the way it's done. All right. So this is all ready for me to start hauling that stuff in and get it all loaded into here. And hopefully by close of day today, I will have an empty trailer. My wagon's down here because another thing I did today, just because, in case you thought that's all I did, I brought out my tomato plants to harden them out here, get them used to the weather out here. You can see they were turning yellow on some of the lower leaves already from being trapped in those little pots. So they're getting acclimated today. They're getting planted tomorrow. And I've set them where they're going to go. They're about 2 feet apart, which is what you want to do with your tomato plants, 2 feet apart. Now that one has 3 plants in it, and that one has 2 plants in it. The extra plants will come out and go over here. I'll put like 1, 2, and 1, 2, so that'll handle the 4 plants. And this whole bed right here is going to be for tomatoes only. And you say, why so many tomatoes? Well, I love tomatoes. I'll eat them in a sandwich. I'll eat them on a plate. I'll eat them with a salad. I'll make tomato sauce out of them. I'll make tomato paste out of them. I can eat tomatoes all year long if they grew all year long, but they don't. So I'm going to have to can some so that I have them for when they're not growing, right? So that's what's going on here. Everything else, I gave it all a little watering. I got my wire set over there to finish blocking that off. And what's the next thing I did? Well, I've got another product to review here. Actually, I got two. I just picked up another one at the post office. And I picked up another package from Sherry the Secretary, or Lady in the Desert. And thank you, Sherry. You know you told me don't go and pick it up today, but I had to because I had another big package delivered today from another sponsor who wants me to do a review on another product. So I'm going to get that going. All right, so look at the little orange thing here. This is something I received a while back. And this is by a company called Lumery, and I got to do a review on it. And what is it? It's a solar-powered 4-station irrigation timer. And it's got a battery in it. The solar power charges the battery. And you got an app on my phone, and it also works on Wi-Fi. So I do have Wi-Fi out here because my Wi-Fi is on that side of the cabin, and that's only about 40 feet. So, and my Wi-Fi is right in the window, so it gets down here. I already checked it. I got a good signal. So I got the garden hose connected up to one already, because when I'm ready to do some watering here, I'm going to do a demonstration. Now here's the box that came in. I already unpackaged this, and I've got a pre-video on it, but I'll be showing all of that in the review on it. But that's the system right there. I decided I am going to hook it up to power. This thing also claims it will work on 3 psi off of a rain barrel. So guess what? I got that tote filled right there. And I have a hose bib coming out of that tote right there. So we will be testing that to see if it does work. Now, of course, it's not going to spray any type of pressure on anything. That'll work for drip. So I'll try a drip channel running down along these and feed my potatoes, cilantro, and radishes, and all that stuff will all get fed on a drip system running this whole length right here. And they give me connectors to go on those other stations right there that have adapters for hooking it up to that irrigation tubing, 1/2-inch irrigation tubing, something like this. All right, this is a heavy duty one. I got the lightweight stuff coiled over there on top of the totes. So I'll be doing both a pressurized test and a rain barrel test on it. I'm sure some of you are going to be really interested in that, because having a solar powered unit that runs on Wi-Fi, you got an app on your phone, you can turn it on whenever you want, or you can just set all the times on it so it does its own watering. And you can also set it for rain. So if there's a rainy day, it won't water, so you don't waste water. That is an ideal product for you people that are going to be off grid. That saves you water, that saves you time, and that saves you headaches. And you can set each station for different times of watering, different amounts of watering. You can set it by the gallon or by whatever, by 15 minutes per station, or 1 gallon, 2 gallons, 5 gallons, whatever. So each plant, each different type of plant needs different water. So guess what? You can set it up to do that. Now, trust me, if this thing pans out to work, I will be buying a second one of those. So I will have one pressurized on the pump, and I'll have one non-pressurized for a drip system on the tote. And that'll give me 8 stations. And actually, I only really need 2 stations for that whole side there, because it's the difference between the trees and the raised beds. And so I'll have 2 spare stations there for drip. Now, if I need to, I could always run a drip over to this side of the garden here to handle some plants along this corner. The 4 stations here, they're pressurized. So instead of running across the walkway here with them, like the garden hose is doing right now, I will be running those up overhead and putting them into my overhead system there that has my homemade sprinkler valves on each station there to water this whole garden area all the way down to the tomatoes. And then I can have a second one doing a second watering for my trees along and my grapevine along the sides here. And when I get down to that grapevine, I can put a T in it and run it over to that tree over there, and then run straight down to that last tree down there. So it'll work out great. I think it'll be an outstanding advantage and a great addition to off-grid living. Because every day, no matter what I tried, you know, it doesn't work. Every day I get older. And down the line, things taking care of some of the tasks for me will help me live longer. I won't be laying in bed with a sore back or anything like that. All right, everybody, I'm going to get back to work here because there's still plenty of day left. It's only lunchtime. This is G-Bear, pausing or signing off. Okay, so I paused it. I didn't sign out because I got more work done in here. I brought in half of what was in the trailer and got it broken down and spread out in here. But the next thing goes is there's going to be a light coat of composted chicken manure that's going to go in there at that level. And then I'll put another 6 or 8 inches of the soil on top of that. But I have to stop right now because moving it, dumping it, and breaking it up, the winds are blowing again, and the dust is blowing right into my face every move I make. So it's not that it's just getting in my lungs and nose and nostrils and that, it's also getting in my eyes, my ears, my hair, and everything else. So it just needs to be a stop for this right now. It's just not working for me. So I forgot to tack this down over here, so I'll have to pull it up while I still can and put it over the top. And there's supposed to be a 2x2 going across the top of it there to hold it down, but I forgot to do that. I forgot to do that. Nah, 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 nah. What a nut. All right, well, a nut is not complete without a bolt to fit it. All right, so here we go. It's all set. I'm going to pack it in now. It's getting late in the afternoon, and one of my neighbors just told me that I had repaired one of her deep cycle batteries for lead acid, and using that 12-volt solar panel system I derived about for repairing batteries. And it was down to 3 volts when she brought it to me. It was pretty stone. But after about 4 days on a solar panel, it's holding at 12.8 volts. And I put the load tester on it for batteries, and it holds a load for 30 seconds without a problem, without dropping at all on it. So I got it repaired for her, and I put it out by the mailbox as she requested so she could pick it up when she drove by. Well, she just texted me a little while ago. It's been a couple hours out there, That little black mailbox gets like an oven on hot days like today. And she put a piece of cake in there for me. I just texted her back and says, well, it's either going to be a melted glob or a brick when I go pick it up, because I'm still in the garden and it's been sitting out there for quite a while. So I'm packing it in right now. I'm going to close up the van, disconnect the electricity here, and go walk down and see about that cake, see if it's dead on arrival or what. And then I'm going to head inside, and it's almost time for the dogs to eat supper. I got to get that put together, and then it'll be time for me to eat supper. I got to get that put together. So I want to thank you all for joining me. This is G Bear signing off. I was recently informed that the reason that streetwalkers wear high heels is so they don't sell themselves short.